Well, the annual hashtag Silent Walk and Run campaign to raise awareness and encourage people to learn sign language will be taking place next month. Let's talk more about this and the campaign around this now. We're joined by Deaf SA CEO Judith Madi and Nicolene Toit from Neema Foundation for the Deaf. Ladies, good morning and thanks so much for your time this morning. Judith, I first would like to delve into, and we've been talking about just the challenges that everybody has faced during COVID-19 and the pandemic and the lockdown as well. In particular, when it comes to the deaf community and those with other challenges like that, what were their particular challenges or your particular challenges during this time?
Thank you very much for inviting me, firstly. During the corona pandemic, it was really bad for us. It affected our lives as deaf community and myself as well. We had to adopt to the new normal. The masks that everybody wears. It's a challenge for me because when I go anywhere, the mask is blocking communication, and it's giving us challenges. So if I go somewhere or I use the taxi to go to the shops, the mask, there's a communication barrier, as I said. I cannot see your facial expressions. I cannot read your lips. So that was very, very bad for us, the boundary that we had there. But on the other side, good things that came through was that people realized that they need to learn sign language. Because when I talk, I point because I've got my mask on, so I point. So then they said, oh, thank you, because also the new norm. So the impact was positive and negative during this pandemic, yes.
Okay, so there has been some kind of positive spin-off when it comes to that. And did you find then that there was more of an awakening in this time then, Judith, for people who actually adhere to this request, which we understandably has been made for years, for decades, to get sign language recognized for the importance that it does hold in our communities and society. In this time, did we find that more people actually did become aware and went out to try and learn?
Not all, unfortunately. Some people got away through the usage of the masks and say, oh, you're deaf. Some tell themselves that, no, we cannot write to each other the whole time, so we need to learn sign language. We need to see how we can communicate with the deaf. Professionally, government, they are much more aware because the deaf community is there, they need to give service to them, and the interpreting services are still not enough. Sometimes we've got meetings or whatever with government, and then time for booking the interpreters is always last minute. They forget about interpreting. So we've got very few South African interpreters. So government need to release funding and training so that we can get more South African Sign Language interpreters in the field.
Well, that's understandable, but in this time as well, when we saw, especially when we had the addresses from the President to the nation about lockdown and the pandemic and how we're coping, our interpreters sort of became the unsung heroes. Interpreters like Nicolene herself, who were on that little box on our screens, and surely as well, this must have brought attention to the cause, Judith.
Yes, I think so. With this pandemic and the President's addresses, it showed people that we need that service. And the deaf people are there, and they are living amongst us. But unfortunately, just to say honestly, some programs still don't have sign language interpreters. So why do they choose what we can see or what we can hear and what we can't hear? We deaf people prefer interpreters to be there the whole day, like hearing people can hear, so that we can have the correct communication. But now it's selected programs only, and we also want to see everything. And that's a negative still, and it impacts on us still.
All right, so to this cause, and the hashtag Silent Walk and Run is actually trying to up the ante, raise awareness, get more people to learn sign language. Judith, where can I go to learn? Seeing as we are restricted as to where we can go, what spaces we can be in still, even though we are in level 1, what's the easiest place or the easiest way for me to go and learn sign language?
We have got different institutions and different deaf organizations. So, and they are open to teach South African Sign Language through webinars or Zoom training. So, because we respect the social distancing and adhering to that. So there is those platforms. So like my organization, we are planning for hashtag Silent Walk, and the aim for that is so that we can unify hearing people and deaf people and encourage hearing people to learn South African Sign Language, to learn our culture as deaf people. So that is what we want to do. That is part of awareness and promotion of sign language.
Thank you very much, Judith and Nicolene. Thanks so much for your time. We know that hashtag Silent Walk and Run happens on the 3rd of October. If you can make it, it's happening in various places. Make your way there and become part of the effort, because these are things we all need to start doing for one another. We need to include everyone in our lives and goings on as well.